All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to we're gonna do this got a little time to kill. We're on our way to the airport right now, and we thought we'd bust out a podcast while we're driving.
Yep. Talk a little bit about the week, I guess. A little bit about fly fishing I want to talk about, because I'm not very good at it, and Ben is super good at it. Very frustrating.
Thanks, dude.
Frustrating few days of fly fishing with you. He's over there ripping lips, and I'm just ripping trees left and right. But it's definitely you definitely have to have the touch fly fishing.
It's been I don't know. I mean, we both caught
it's
fish.
been an epic trip.
We had a
slam 2 to 3 days.
How many different places did we even try and fish? It was like seven different places that we tried to fish. So pretty much all the fish that we caught were trout, different species of trout.
That's all we caught. Rainbows, browns, cutthroats.
My first fish was a rookie, and then I caught a crappie.
Oh yeah.
And then that fish in the river was the cutbow. That big fish was a cutbow, which is a crossbreed between a cutthroat and a rainbow.
But we had an awesome time. Our whole goal keeps going out of focus.
Yeah, I don't know what's up.
Sorry guys. I'm trying to make it nice for you guys. But our whole goal for this trip was to rough it and just have a good time in the mountains, get away. We had like 2 solid weeks of rain in Texas, so I had to get out and get some content done. And our buddy Chris, awesome dude, out of focus again.
Man, I don't know what's up with that.
There it goes again. But yeah, Chris, he just does everything he can in his power to make you have a good time and lines anything he can up. But we got there the first day, rolled in at like 12 o'clock, went and stayed at Chris's dad's house, woke up at 5, woke up at 4:30 that morning.
Wow, that's great.
And I went and bought a turkey tag. Y'all have to watch the video to see if I got a turkey.
Yeah,
that was epic. And then
we'll tell you, it's pretty sweet.
And then we just camped and fished the rest of the time. This little creek right here looks good.
Yeah, it does.
There's creeks everywhere out here, but they're all overfished. We're getting closer to Denver, so it's
they're either blown out or they're overfished.
Yeah, all the runoff from the snow on the mountains is killing us.
Why is it doing
this
that?
autofocus is killing us. Here, let's take you guys off of autofocus real quick. There's a little switch. And then focus it.
There we go. Now we shouldn't have any problems. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So we tried. So I'm new to. I mean, I've fly fished for a couple years, but just here and there in the rivers and stuff at home. And I've been to like Missouri, and I've fly fished Colorado and Wyoming, but nothing like real serious. This was like my first serious fly fishing trip, and it's crazy like how many flies there are, first of all, but knowing what to throw, when to throw, how to throw it, how to present it to the fish, how long your leader needs to be, how much weight you need to have, this size beaded head, this size beaded head, a dropper, all kinds of stuff. It's crazy, but it's pretty easy to pick up on once you're with a guy like this for a couple days. But yeah, we feel name all the flies that we threw that we were successful with, because I don't know any of the names.
So we threw a lot of leeches as far as lead flies. We did do a lot of drops when we were fishing the bigger waters. So we've lead fly being a leech to get the bugs down, and then we were using snow cone was a really popular, probably caught most of the fish, which is a little scud-like nymph at the back. Yeah, we drop it like 12 inches below the leech. Caught a lot of fish that way. We were dropping pheasant tails. I think what are those San Juan
worms?
What are they
squirmy
called? Squirmy wormies. Yeah, we're dropping some squirmy wormies.
We never did good on those until today. Well,
I did catch that one brown one today, but other than that, we were primarily just catching a lot of them on leeches, and the snow cone was the most popular bug for what and the snow cone is pretty much like a candy cane looking bug. It's got a white bead head on it, and the biggest thing that we were doing was just getting down deep where the fish are. So that was kind of, I was hoping that we could get on some dry flies, catch some fish on top with dry flies, but there wasn't really a whole lot of hatching going on.
Yeah, so when is the hatch?
It depends on, there's always some sort of a hatch, but the big bugs aren't really hatching until the water warms up a little bit more like mid-June, when the water levels, the snow runoff, the water gets real high, and right now it's starting to drop as far as the water levels, and water level drops, temperatures rise, and then the bigger bugs start to hatch. Start to see more of like around here you'll see caddises, green drakes, that kind of stuff. And dry fly fishing is obviously, I mean, that's some of my favorite kind of fishing, but it is it's all timing.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked that last night our fly line was freezing on us, and then this morning we walked in like a mile upstream up this huge gut. There was still snow everywhere. All the trees that were overhanging the creek that were getting splashed by water, it was all icicles and frozen water. It was pretty crazy. I didn't think basically the end of May that there would still be ice everywhere.
Yeah, that was.
And snow. There was snow everywhere up there. Patches of snow.
I got back and my laces from my wading boots were complete icicles. It was, I mean,
but it doesn't
cold.
feel, I mean, it was like, it's 60 degrees right now. But yeah, it doesn't feel, it felt amazing. Like the weather this whole time has been great. The first night that we camped, it rained all night long, and I slept so good.
I did too. Chris did, unfortunately.
Top of my ears. We're going through these mountains right now.
Elevation change is crazy out here.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready to. So me and Ben are going to be back up here in September, elk hunting. We're going to be staying at Chris's place. So
yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Can't wait to do that. It was fun to show Ben around kind of the country that we're going to be elk hunting.
Yep.
Just kind of get a grasp of what we're going to be looking at whenever we come up. But it's going to be the three of us, archery, and we're going to put in as much time as it takes, hoping to be out there for a full 7 days.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't take that long.
Get some bulls down.
Yeah, I'd love it if we all three shot one.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with one.
Yeah, we're all excited to get to September. That's going to be a fun trip, a good time. So.
This is that lake I was telling you about that froze up, and there was like the little
ice fishers everywhere.
All over it.
Yeah. I could never get into ice fishing. I hear the people that do ice fish. The people that do ice fish are diehards for sure. Dang, I thought I silenced that there.
You need to answer that.
Yeah, so the people that ice fish are typically diehards, and I've never even done it.
What do they do when there's no ice?
No, I'm sure they.
I love ice fishing.
You ice fished in Texas this year, didn't you?
I ice fished in Texas this year.
Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
First time, probably the only time ever that'll happen. But I've ice fished a lot. I enjoy it when you're dressed right.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. This year I went in Utah actually, and the guy had a camera that dropped down, and we literally just watched our baits, and there's fish swimming around. It's crazy how many fish actually see your bait that you never see. Like without that camera, you don't. There's guys kayaking it, fishing. I think there's kokanee salmon in there.
Floating out there.
But yeah, fly fishing's fun.
Okay, so I have been fly fishing for a long time. I bought my first fly rod when I was 10 years old. Mike has done it, actually. I mean, he got to give him credit. He actually is not a novice fly fisherman. Like, he knows. He's fly fished. He's caught big fish. He's caught lots of fish on a fly rod. So he's not like some amateur beginner. Don't let him fool you about
Just
that.
compared to you.
But at the same time, what are some things that like you learn on this trip when it comes to, because I mean, I know you fly fish everywhere. I'm kind of this kind of high mountain stuff. This is like my forte. This is what I grew up doing. And I know that you were saying it several times. You're like, this isn't my element. This isn't my thing. You know.
Yeah. Well, like the little brookies you were catching up there, way deep in that mountain. And I mean, it's like a stream as wide as this truck, and I don't know. To me, it's just not fly fishing. You're literally just taking your fly rod and dipping it in the water. I don't know. It's just not something that I love, but it was cool watching you catch them. So that, I've never done anything like that, where you just, well, I guess I have in New Mexico, we're just roll casting. But I like it to where I can get out there and whip a fly rod around. But yeah, I did get better at casting this trip. That I kind of figured out what worked and what didn't, and
what worked and what didn't.
Yeah, what worked, I don't know. Just the feeling of, like, you get the feeling after you cast for so long.
Yeah.
You kind of get the grasp of, I don't know, I probably gained 20 or 30 feet to my cast.
Yeah.
This trip. So.
That is, so when you're fly fishing, like if you were to just pick up a fly rod, if you've never fly fished before,
you'd end up in a knot.
You kind of just do this thing, waving your arm back and forth, thinking that you're doing something. But as you start to like cast and you get your distance down, you can feel your it's called loading the rod, where your rod comes back and then it loads, which means the fly line catches up to the rod tip. You load it, and then it gives you all your momentum. So it's just all a timing thing, and just being able to feel that weight behind that rod.
Yeah. And then, so, like, have you ever fly fished Colorado? Is this your first time?
This is my first time fly fishing Colorado.
So the way
no, I fly fish when I deer hunt. A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, just like I fly fish the Colorado River where I deer hunt, but that's it.
Yeah, so the stuff that you were explaining in, like, Utah and Idaho, and even the one stream that you do fish in Arizona.
Yeah.
It just sounds like amazing compared to what we just did.
Yeah.
I just feel like here it's so close to Denver, and there's so many people in Denver that just gets hammered every weekend.
Yeah.
Every Friday through Sunday it gets hammered.
It doesn't help that the best rivers to fish here are blown out too.
Well, and they're right off the highway.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of rivers off the highway that are you can get to, but last night there was some ponds next to the river. I guess they're just overflow ponds, and there was literally hundreds of trout surfacing, like 20-inch trout just coming up and heads coming out of the water, just like not care in the world, and you could literally throw your fly on top of their head and they wouldn't even look at it.
Yeah.
So it's just like the pressure was so tough. Now up in northern Colorado where we were, all those streams, there was no pressure there. You were catching them left and right. But down here, getting closer to Denver, it gets worse and worse, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. You can tell it's popular around here when you got drift boats everywhere and fly shops in every town.
Yeah. So how often do you drift float whenever you're?
I've done one drift boat trip.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I did on the Snake in Wyoming.
It's awesome. Like if you can do it, but I've only done it once. It was way fun. I mean, caught some big fish, big browns.
What about your float tube?
So my float tube, I've never drifted a river in a float tube.
Oh, really?
I know you can. Like I would do it.
Ponds and lakes.
Yeah, it's mainly for lakes, ponds, and that's another. I mean that's a lot of fun. Just getting out on a pond.
Well, that's another thing I don't like. Being from Texas, like you can go catch as many fish as you want in any pond, pretty much, and it's so boring. I'm so bored and burnt out on pond fishing. Like I don't want to come up here and fly fish a pond or a lake. Like I feel like I need to be in a little stream, doing it the right way.
The right way.
The way that I have fly fishing envisioned in my head.
Yeah. Is
in a little stream or a river, not in a lake or a pond.
Yeah, and it's different. Like I grew up fishing creeks. I love fishing rivers. But covering the amount of ground you need to do to be like really successful in a river can be a little tough. But I agree. I enjoy river fishing a lot more.
Yeah, but just like...
But even like the lakes though, like it's not simple. Like the hatches that happen, the type of bugs or whatever, if you're fly fishing a lake, the depth is huge, like where they're at, all that kind of stuff. There's a whole new challenging aspect to it. That's not just like, oh, cast your lure out and reel it in. It is very technical. More technical than people might think.
But like you just coming down to Texas, like you're so pumped that we had bass in all the ponds that we could fish.
I know.
Like that's,
yeah.
I don't know. Just growing up fishing ponds, it's like, kind of boring. But dude, this truck, I gotta get past him.
Don't worry, everybody. We are being safe. He's not really even.
I'm not.
He's just watching the road.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it's fly fishing is. I mean it. I've been doing it for a long time. I love doing it. Something so peaceful about it. And when you
it's therapeutic.
When you're catching fish, that's, I mean, it's just awesome. Especially on flies that you've tied. I think a lot of the fish that we were catching were flies I had tied the night before we got out here, and my boy had actually tied some flies with me. So that makes it kind of something special too. If fly fishing is something you might think you would be interested in, just be patient when it comes to the casting, because that's where everybody gets burned out. But if you stick with it, anybody that really tries fly fishing sticks with it, they end up loving it.
Yeah. My lips get so chapped when I'm up in the mountains. It's like so dry. Last night, we stayed in a hotel last night because we had to get some service. We didn't have any service where we were. And I got in the shower and my nose just starts like squirting blood. I was like, oh gosh. And it would not stop for like 30 minutes. And then this morning we were fly fishing. It's just like starting to drip out of my nose. I was like, oh, here we go.
Looks like a crime scene everywhere.
Now I'm going to get on an airplane and have a bloody nose probably. But every time I come up to the mountain, I mean, we were at 11,000 feet fishing this morning. I got to get in shape for elk season.
Yeah, that makes you realize how out of shape you are. You come up this high elk.
It's just the altitude for me, being from Texas. I'm at like 200 feet.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's a sweet waterfall there.
That is cool.
Man. Yeah, it sure is pretty out here. If you are from Colorado, you do have a pretty state.
Yeah, we saw at the trailhead this morning, there was this car that said, it had a bumper sticker on it, and it said, Colorado needs wolves. Freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's frustrating. So, unfortunately, people like that, hopefully they don't
bunch of Denvers
introduce wolves into this state. That would suck. So, get involved in your communities. That's all I can say. Speak up.
Alright, let's end it.
Alright.
Well, I had a good time. We are headed to the airport, like we said. But y'all stay tuned. We got some awesome videos coming. Some catch, clean, and cooks.
Oh yeah.
We ate like kings.
Oh yeah.
Even though we said we were gonna rough it. I mean, we tried to rough it, but Chris made us not rough it. So y'all stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and keep it real.